Never forget, never again. Remember, Yom HaShoa 2021. Zachor. Good morning. Today is one of those days to stop and think, to reflect. What are we reflecting about today? Surely there are no more festivals. Well, today is Yom HaShoa, Holocaust Memorial Day. But that's not all what today is. Today is also Yom HaShoa v'hagvura. Not just the Holocaust, but the bravery. Bravery? What bravery was there? 6 million were killed, 1.5 million children led like sheep to the slaughter. Aren't those the images that we associate with the Holocaust? Jews getting beaten and gassed and robbed of their dignity, stripped naked, hair shaven. Where's the bravery? So let me share with you that the Holocaust provided moments of bravery. And these are the moments that I want to focus on today. Why now? What's so important about today's date? Well, 78 years ago, the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising took place. For nearly 4 weeks, Jews held off the Nazi onslaught, revolted against the Nazis as they entered the ghetto to send the inhabitants to concentration camps. The idea that a group of Jews in a ghetto could hold off an army it's beyond. Where do they get it from? What inner strength, what conviction, what sense of choosing life, as the Torah tells us, Ubacharta b'chayim, choose life. And not just any life, but choose a life that dignifies it, ennobles you, makes you great. We know they lost in the end, but the fight, the bravery, is a message I think we all need to hear. We can be students of history, Jewish history, world history, and when it comes to our own story, there's so many negative moments in that story. So many countries have tortured and abused Jewish people, exiled from place to place. It's just not necessarily the happiest story. But I want to tell you that within the difficulty, great people arose, great people stood up and said, we are not going to be pushed around. There was bravery even in the face of destruction. So Yom HaShoa, yes, let's remember the victims. Let's even remember how there could even be victims and make certain promises as we do on this day. But let's today remember the word gevura, the bravery. There are stories of photographers like Henrik Ross who risked his life to document the devastating conditions and brutality in the Lodz ghetto. There are the stories of the sophisticated underground resistance that managed to get news of information to warn others of what was happening. There were those who managed to get their hands on weapons that fought against the Nazis. Then there were those who knew the end was near in the Warsaw ghetto and rose up, not to escape, but to resist, sending a message that Jewish life isn't cheap. And perhaps even more than that, life isn't cheap. You stand up to fight for what you treasure. These acts left us with stories of courage, of people holding on to their identity when that was what they were being persecuted for. So I want to challenge you. What does bravery mean to you? Superpowers and being a hero, that's true on some level. But bravery is just sometimes those small acts that go against the grain. To accompany someone who looks like they need help. To sit with someone when they're looking sad. To risk what's important to you for something more important. We must stand up to injustice, whether it's against ourselves or those around us. We must stand in solidarity and be brave and say, I don't care what society says. If something is wrong, then we must take a stand. Let this Yom HaShoa not pass with, more sadness and more negativity. Let's make a positive commitment to ourselves to be brave in every situation, to do the right thing, even if it's not socially popular. And in that, we can bring honor and dignity to those who risked their lives, risked so much to save lives in those bitter years. We are responsible for telling a story because those who live that story are moving to the next world, and it's our time to grab hold of these real life examples. Let's make that our promise today, to be brave, take pride in our Jewish identity, be brave and stand up when there's injustice, and transform the world. Let's remember, let's be brave.